Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. This will be a quick one today. Please drop the like button, a little click, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and join the near 5,000 people now that have found this channel. So come on, join the team. Drop a comment on the video if you've got something you'd like to contribute to the conversation, and of course hit the notification bell as well. Guys, it's game day. Fulham tonight. A massive game for us. I will talk about that just towards the end, but there's again not much to talk about in the news apart from yet more 180ing from people that are supposed to be top level journalists, top level ITKs, top level insiders of the club, or top level people that bring breaking news. Yesterday you had Damasio, Sky Sports Italian journalist, in the same day go from saying that he is absolutely certain that Antonio Conte will not be a manager at the start of the next season or the end of this season. He won't be manager of Tottenham, and that the club and the manager have lost their spark. There's no spark between them, and that there's no intentions or ambitions to even sit down and discuss a new contract. It's over. And that happens, and then suddenly you have the impact of that, the trending Pochetino in, get Poch back, returning of the prodigal son. And then you have the natural infighting of fans. Some people who think that Conte doesn't want to be here, and when you consider the fact that he can't get more than 45 minutes of football out of his team, and that the team is stronger this year on paper than it was last year, yet we are playing like a relegation level outfit right now, that maybe it's better he goes anyway. And then you have the other people that are the kind of Conte sympathisers that want to push all of the negative reasoning for why we're doing so badly in other directions, calling them out and saying, no, nothing's going to change if you change the managers, all about the owners. So you have the infighting based on a supposed top-level journalist saying that he is 100% certain. And then you have, about 2 hours later, him reversing that entire story and saying, to clarify, actually the club are willing to sit down with Antonio Conte. They are willing to discuss contracts, but right now they're at an impasse because there's a difference of kind of philosophy, and Antonio Conte's not sure how he feels with regards to his personal things, like how much time he wants to spend with his friends and family. So which is it? And why did you flip-flop? Why did you change your mind? Was it because you were lying when you said you were certain, and it was really just an opinion, but you presented it as fact? Well, that's unhelpful. Was it because Sky Sports got a phone call from Daniel Levy saying, don't say that, clarify that that's not the case because it's going to create all sorts of infighting and more negative energy? And if that's the case, then why are Sky Sports leaning and lending an ear to Daniel Levy? If that is the case, then how much can you really trust Sky Sports if they're just doing what they're told by owners of football clubs anyway? Right? So which is it? Why the flip-flop? Now, I know some people are going to say it was lost in translation and it was taken out of context, and maybe there's a point to that, but this isn't the first example of that. There's millions of them. And there's another one that right now, that Harry Kane, this morning we all wake up to the noise that Harry Kane is he's not going to leave the club in the summer, and that he's more than willing to sit down and sort out a new contract. It will happen after the window closes in February, and if all the conditions are met and everything's okay, then he'll stay until, for another 4 or 5 years. Which is the entire opposite to what was being presented by essentially the exact same people, or the same level of candidacy of journalistic integrity, people that we're supposed to look for truth and verifiable information. 4 days ago, the story was Harry Kane and his advisors have absolutely zero interest in sitting down with Tottenham Hotspur. He's done. He wants to be out of the club. No contract extension, and so he's either going to be sold in the summer, or if Daniel Levy doesn't accept the bid for him, then he'll leave for free at the end of next year. Likely areas of interest are Manchester United as the most obvious option. So there was all that debate. Well, based on that, it was, let's do the factory reset. If Kane's gone, Conte's gone, Son should probably move. Let's raise as much money as we can. Some people are saying, let's not even waste any money in the January window now, let's save it all because we need as much money as we can for the next managerial cab off the rank that will happen in the summer, or if not before, like nuke the whole thing. And then today, people are now saying, well, if Kane's staying, then is that why Conte might be staying now as well? And does that mean that we don't have to do the factory reset? Now we just need to get behind the backing of Conte thing again? Or is it somewhere in between? Do we build the reset around Harry Kane? Will Harry Kane stay if Conte leaves, even if he's willing to stay? Will Conte leave if Harry Kane is staying, or will Conte stay if Harry Kane leaves? Like, what is it? And it's all based, guys, on flip-flop journalistic articles from people that we're supposed to be listening to and leaning into, believing that they have access to information, and yet not a single one of them provides a quote or any meaningful, verifiable truth to give it any kind of credibility. It's just a trust me bro source of information that is dropped on a day when there's nothing else meaningful to talk about, because there is no new transfer news, there's no updates in the Pedro Porro saga, there's no updates in the Zaniolo saga, there's no updates in anything else with regarding a centre-back. And all this on a day when we're about to step into a really important game, a London derby against Fulham, where if we win, we go 3 points behind third place, having played a game behind. And if we lose, I believe Fulham go above us in the table, we drop to 6th. And on a weekend where essentially all of our rivals drop points, with the exception of Arsenal, depending on how you feel about Arsenal, you might prioritise or have wished that Manchester United beat Arsenal because that limits their chance to win the league. For me personally, I would rather focus on Tottenham, and it's probably healthier for us to see Manchester United lose because they are catchable, Arsenal or not, and Manchester City and Arsenal will figure it out amongst themselves who deserves to be the winner. We should worry about ourselves, no one else. But we should be focusing on what could be a very impactful, very meaningful game with an opportunity for us to kickstart our season. We've had a horrible run of form, relegation level form, if we're entirely honest, and yet, despite all of that, we still find ourselves in 5th space, 6 points off of 3rd, same games played, and in 2 cup competitions, with 8 days left in the window. And remembering last season that it was still doom and gloom throughout the window, and then we got 2 players in on the final 24 or 48 hours that transformed our entire season and was a massive impact and catalyst to us finishing 4th. It was because of those 2 players. There's plenty of reasons to be optimistic. There's plenty of reasons to be focusing on the here and now and driving all of our energy into figuring out the best way for Tottenham to get 3 points tonight and get that kind of get the engine turning over a little bit. But instead, all I see on Twitter is yet more infighting of various different opinions from Tottenham fans, arguing with each other, calling each other every name under the sun because they don't see the same Tottenham as the other person does. They don't see the same vision for what makes it right. They don't see the same pathway to future success. And everyone's turning on each other, more so yesterday and today than in the last few days, and it's all based on news reports that are entirely contradicting of each other and are based on absolutely nothing that is concrete and verifiable. It's bonkers to me, absolutely bonkers. I'd rather they listen. I mean, to be honest, for what it's worth, like, I need something to talk about, so I'm happy to talk about it whilst they're talking about it. I'm talking absolute waffle about news items that are built on absolute nothing, that are written by people that are talking absolute waffle. It is what it is. But for me right now, I'm going to go and turn my attention to getting on with my day and looking forward to this evening. I'll see you later on, guys, on one of the streams. Like, share and subscribe. Have a wonderful day. And as always, guys, bye-bye.